Hello YouTube, Jables here, and it is the night before locals, and I'm going to be doing something new here with the deck profile. I got Sylvans just over the weekend at the OTS, and it's what I'm going to be playing tomorrow at locals. But here's the thing, I'm going to do the deck profile. This might be a little new segment I do on here, where I have only ever tested it online. This is my first initial impression of the deck and how I'm going to run it. And then over time, as I play it more in person, not just online testing, I will update the profile and then compare the new deck with what I have now and see what it goes. So when I go get in the profile now of what I've been testing online, I'll say my reasons, maybe a little discussion if I have time. I'll try to go through this as fast as I can. We'll get into this. Go ahead and start here. Have 3 Hermitry. You can, once per turn, you can excavate 1 card. If it's a plant, send it to graveyard and then draw a card. If he is excavated, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck or put them in any order. Some people don't run him at 3 because he gets cloggy in hand. The reasons I like him at 3 because in this deck, really, it doesn't matter in your hand because you have plenty of ways to get him out of hand to the graveyard, and then you can reborn him in any number of ways from the graveyard. This is plants. There's plenty of combos to do with him. But I understand that you don't want to draw into too many high-level monsters. You don't want to draw into him. You want to special him from deck or from graveyard. You want him to be excavated in some way, since you don't want to draw into him. But if you can, it doesn't really hurt too much because you have the field spell to ditch him from hand. You have 1-for-1 to ditch him from hand, and any number of ways to get him out of hand. Plus, he's a 2700 attacker, which I really like. His effect is really good. He's your draw power, and I like draw power in the deck. I like draw power in any deck, and I'm not going to run upstarts or reckless greeds. So he's my draw power, and 2700 is nothing to relate. It's a good amount of attack. Next, 3 Marshall Leafs. I've seen this at 2 as well, but I really like this guy at 3. He is a double excavate. When he is normal summoned, excavate 1 or 2. And when he's excavated from the deck, you can destroy a monster on the field. It doesn't have to be face up. It can be any monster on the field. It can be your monsters if you need to. I'm not going to bash anyone's reason for running him at 2. I can see it, but I like him at 3 just because of the fact that he, there's a lot of cards that can stop destruction effects now. I understand that with, especially in Bujins, they got Turtle to stop him because he targets. They've got Hair to stop it as well. But the thing with cards like this is that makes them use their resources anyway. Like, they have to use it or their monster will die. That helps you thin out their resources. Sometimes people don't think about that, and that's good to make them go through their resources when you can. And that's what I like about running 3 of him, is just to make them run through their resources, so that way your other plays can go off if you need to. It's about strategy and getting through defenses and stuff like that. That goes for this guy as well. Kamushramu, or however you fucking say his name. I run him at 3. He is your big, when he's flipped face up, get up to 5 excavate. That is a good excavating number for hitting, getting a lot of your excavate effects off. He's 2000 defense, so opening him is really good. If you're going first, just set him, get 5 excavate, start your graveyard plays going right away. And when he's excavated from the deck, you get to destroy a back row. Again, I like effects like this for Marshall Leaf and him. Just those spot removal cards. It's just good play, and it gives more fodder for the deck. Some people drop him to 2, I know, but I like running him in right now at 3 until the new stuff comes out. I won't know, but I'm just focusing on what we have now. So I like running him at 3 just because I like that additional back row hate, because this is a back row heavy format. Next, 3 Peacekeeper. Running him at 3 can get cloggy, yes, but I like the combo effect of him once you have Lone Fire engraved, just keep reborning Lone Fire. But having 3, you have a good chance to draw into him, yes. But he has a good secondary effect. But when he is normal summoned or special summoned, you get to excavate 1. That special summon is very good in this deck for if you run calls like I do. You can, if your call gets blind MST, chain call, get him, get an excavate off. If you stacked with the field spell, you can either get one of your excavate effects off, or you can just blind luck hit something off the deck with excavate. So I like that about this card. And when he is excavated from the deck, you get a special summon of a level 4 or lower plant monster, which is just good for recycling. Lone Fire is your main target to recycle in this deck, but you can recycle other things such as your tuners to go into synchro plays. As plants, you have a lot of combos of cards like this. Next, 2 Flower Knight. I only run to 2 because I really just, he is just very situational, and I don't know, I don't like running more than 2 because I don't like seeing him that often. I don't even like excavating him that often because his excavate effect it comes at times when you don't, it's random moments and you like to plan your effects, like with Mount Sylvania, the field spell. You like to plan your effects out, and he's just a random moment when it hits. You don't have to activate his effect, but you can. It just makes you change your plays up, either for better or worse for the turn. It's just, he's very random, and I just dropped him to 2. Yes, he's an 1800, but this is a plant deck, and that attack really is good, but it really doesn't mean much in plant because you're more combo oriented. You're not just about brute strength. You want to use him for more other reasons, such as exceeds or synchro plays. At least the way I see it. I could be wrong. People can play it different for me. That's just how I've been using him. But there's other plays I like to do, and he's all right for now, but he'll probably come out whenever the new stuff comes out, just for more combo plays, because plants are a combo based deck. But that is it for the Sylvan monster part. Next, double on fire. Of course, you run this. It's searcher for any plant. Your other plant engine, if you're running a plant deck, of course, Dandelion and Spore. 1 copy plant. I'm going to be messing around with this. I might bump it up to 2, but for right now, just 1. But he is really, really good for your plays, but I had to make room. This deck is very tight, and it's making room was difficult because I wanted to put in a proper defense. So just 1 copy plant for now. 1 debris. It goes with the plant engine. I really like. He's good for recycling your Dandelion and going into Black Rose plays, Synchro plays. I don't particularly like debris, but it comes in handy too often not to run it. I will say that. And in final monster, Talea. I chose her. A lot of people I've seen run Cherubime, but I like the just brute force of Talea. Now, I know I said that the attack of, like, when I talked about Flower Knight wasn't the main focus of this, but for her, it is really good. Sometimes you need that brute force to get over something. Prime example would be if you're going against Leo, the new Synchro, and it's 3100, cannot be targeted. And in a deck like this, that's really all you have is targeting effects. You don't have many mass destructions that can actually get over it. But with Talea, she gains 100 attack for each plant type monster you control. And in this deck, you can spam plants easily, so you can easily get up to 3100 attack, and in at least kamikaze Leo, if not run over it with more. So she's good for that, just if you have to get over a problem monster that is pretty big. Plus, she has a built-in effect to protect your other plants from destruction effects, such as Dark Hole, Mirror Force, Bottomless. Plant-type monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. I really like that about her, too. The fact that if you run into a Mirror Force, she'll die and the rest of your plants will stay, and you can just bring her back with Call and or Miracle Fertilizer. So that's why I chose to run her over Cherubime. That's it for monster count. Plant monster, pretty large monster count. For spells, of course, 3 field spell, Mount Sylvania. Once per turn, you can pitch 1 plant-type monster from hand to grave and stack a Sylvan monster on top of deck. And then during your opponent's end phase, you can excavate 1 card. If it's a plant, send it to grave. And if it's not, you can either put it on the top or bottom of your deck. Really, really good for setting up your plays. You can set up this for your turn to get a Hermit Tree, excavate, and draw. You can set it up for your end phase if you're expecting your opponent to set problem back row. You can put Kamushramu on top, pop the back row. You can put Marshall Leaf if they got a problem monster to deal with. Just sets up really good plays to get out of situations. Right now, I assume that's the only field spell Sylvans have, but we have not seen all the reveals, I don't guess, for Primal Origins yet. But 3 of this, because it's really, really good. 3 Miracle Fertilizers. I've been going back and forth 2 to 3 with this. but I opted to go with 3 because I just want to see it. Like, I want to see it more because most of the time this does not stay on the field because I will use this effect to reborn Lone Fire, and then once you activate Lone Fire's effect to send himself, if you choose to send himself to get another plant from deck, this will go away because the plant monster is leaving the field. But if you use it to exceed with, it stays on the field. Those rulings. But this is like an amazing part of the deck because you can get any plant type monster, no level restrictions, just any plant type monster. You're reborn your hermit trees to go for your draw power, get Talea again if she gets destroyed, get Lone Fire to get more plays from the deck. It's just really, really good in this any plant deck, really. One foolish, one for one staples for plants. Book of Moon, it's a good defense card this format. I can't really say much on it. And then last 2 spells, 2 MSTs. Yes, you have the Commush removes, but sometimes it's just you want to get your plays off. I say this a lot about MST. I play MSTs because you want to get your plays off. You want to hit back row to get your plays off. And when your cards like Commush remove that you have to do setup to get its effect off to pop back row, your opponent has time to react to that and stop it. That's why I like to run MSTs in the main deck, just because you can disrupt their plays by hitting it before you start your plays, and you can get your plays off. Better chance of getting your plays off. On the traps, triple Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted is too good in this deck because of all like plants. They're just so combo oriented. This card just, if your opponent stops your plays with mass removal, get your cards back. Or if you just need a Reborn Talea or a Hermit Tree to go in for massive damage, Call's just amazing. 2 Mirror Force. I love Mass Destruction right now. It works in most decks. Against most decks. Torrential, Bottomless, and then 1 Wabaku because just for protection. It's really just defense oriented. I had to put in some defense. I like defense in decks and recovery. Extra deck. I don't have all for extra deck right now. Like I said, this is going on what I have right now. This is the night before locals for the first time I try this. This is my general idea of the deck. I don't have everything I need. I'm missing about 4 cards from the extra deck, so I just put in 4 cards. I will go through the extra deck with what I have right now, and hopefully I'll get what I need this week, and then whenever I play the deck more, I'll do the deck profile when it's fully complete and I have a better understanding of it. This is just my general idea of the deck right now. So, formula, of course, plants, draw power. Underworld Fighter, I like him because, yes, well, I hardly go into him. He's just there just in case, and I could put an Armory Arm. I probably will do it if I get one, but right now he can reborn Lone Fire, and that's like really good for this deck. Librarian, draw power, and its plants, play that. Psyhemoth, this is in here till I get Queen of Thorns. Queen of Thorns is, oh gosh, so amazing right now. But Psyhemoth is really good too. It just gets over problem cards like if you're versing Boojins. Fucking banish it. Powered Injectron because it's funny. I love this. This thing is just hilarious. Schwaza Rosendrak. It's plants. You run that shit. Stardust. Scrap Dragon. Your level 8s. I don't have a Crimson Blader at the moment. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to run Crimson Blader. I probably should, but I don't know. I'll just have to make room for it. Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. This thing is just, oh gosh, it's so fucking good. I can't say enough good things on this. But because of time, I'm going to move on. Star Eater, because you can make it. He's in here until I get something else. Like Star Eater, Leviathan Dragon, and Acid Golem are in here until I get other cards that I need. Like I already said, he'll be a Shooting Star whenever I get Shooting Star Dragon. These will be 2 Leviers. We got 2 Alces. One of these will be a Felgrand when I get a Felgrand, but right now I'm running 2 of these. I've read this thing like 4 times. I still don't know what the fuck it does. I just know it's got 3200 S. But mostly, I don't even go into this. I just beat down with Hermit Tree. And then the 4 tokens. I'm not even going to bother showing side deck because that would take too long. I can just flash through it real quick. This is just what I have for locals setting up. But that is the deck, guys. I'm prepared for criticism if I did something wrong. Like I said, this is just my first initial impression of the deck. I've only ever tested it online and only a few times at that. And I will learn more about it through more testing at locals. And then when a new set, like the new set comes out, it's just going to be fucking crazy. We get Graceful Charity and a Pot of Avarice theme card. But I really like the deck. It's a really fun deck. And before I take up too much more time, thank you for watching, guys. And I hope you did enjoy. Don't be too harsh with your comments. And subscribe, like, comment, do whatever. Thank you for your time. Jables out.